and also to facilitate translation of books and things into about 150 different languages for use around the world. So Karen asked me to just share a brief bit about our 1 Million Bibles initiative, which Rafiki has been very involved in. So a little over 2 years ago, we set the goal of what if we could provide 1 million ESV Bibles where needed most in the world. And our thought was, what if we could provide to people who are able to read English, able to use an English Bible, but maybe could not otherwise afford or acquire a Bible just because of where they were. And so, in some ways it may seem easy to just say, hey, easy to give away 1 million Bibles. But actually, when you view it as kind of this stewardship, it isn't that easy, and you have to look for trusted partners and people who are going to help you in that mission. So we have definitely found that in Rafiki. You've been one of our main partners in this. We love the Bible-centered nature of your ministry. You're trustworthy. You have this great connection with the church, the local church around the world, and just been so diligent in helping us in that. And so we praise the Lord for that. So by God's grace and with donor support, we have reached our goal. So the 1 million Bibles have gone out. They've reached 75 countries that we know of, including 30 countries in Africa. So it's amazing. The last shipment of 194,000 global study Bibles the shipments are on the ocean right now. So if you think to pray for that. All of the other Bibles has arrived safely, every single one of them. And so just prayer for these last Bibles as they arrive. So we're praying and planning about another round of 1 million Bibles specifically for Africa. And our hope is that will begin in 2026. Okay. So this will begin next year, and of course, Rafiki will be a very important partner in that, helping us to get these Bibles into the hands of people who need them. And then I just wanted to mention, last thing, I think many of you are familiar with our ESV Bible app, but I just wanted to mention that again. So this is an app that it's available on a subscription basis here in the U.S., but we make it available for free outside of the U.S. So for any of you or your teams in Africa, it has the full Bible text. It has all of our study Bibles on it. It has 7 or 8 audio readings. It has all of our commentaries, preaching the word, expository commentaries, and that's available for free. So if you're interested, it's esv.org/international, and it would be information, but it's free to sign up for that. So just thank you so much, Rafiki. We appreciate your partnership in the gospel, and Rosemary Jensen Foundation as well. It's been wonderful to work with all of you, so thank you.
Thank you. So thank you guys very much. You've got a microphone, but real quick, I do want to recognize you've got John Peterson and Humphrey Dobson, also from Ligonier Ministries. You guys want to stand up? We're delighted to have them with us here. We have benefited from over 45,000, I think, Reformation Study Bibles that have gone out from Ligonier to us to about 30 seminaries, which Rosemary kind of got all that kicked off. So you have a mic, so I'm going to turn this off.
I do have a mic, thank you.
Yeah, you have your own mic.
I have my own mic, okay. I wanted to say to Randy something that I just found out last night. You know, we sent out so many children's Bibles. When the kids get in Africa, when they get to the 3rd grade, they can read. And so what we do, we give them a Bible when they can read, and it's the Holy Bible for kids. The Holy Bible for kids. Well, so we had given enough of them until recently. Now we have gotten, especially in Tanzania. I got this last night from my friend here, Frederick Show, last night he was telling me at dinner that, that they really are, they're starting to have all these Bibles, they need Bibles in schools now because they're giving out all Bibles for children in the Tanzanian schools. They're all speaking English now, which is really wonderful. And so I said, well, how many Bibles do you need? And he said, oh, about 10,000. So, Randy, 10,000 Holy Bible for kids, and the Rosemary Jensen Bible Foundation, which I can tell you a little bit about if you have a question about it, how it got started and all, which is of the Lord, that's for sure. But anyway, how much we have given. Maybe I should go ahead and tell this now. What else do we have going on this time? Nothing. Okay. I thought maybe there was supposed to be this movie or something.
No, we may show the videos later. I want to make sure we have plenty of time.
Okay, all right. So anyway, the other thing that the Crossway is doing is that years ago, a number of years ago, when I first started the Bible Foundation, we had given out the Reformation study Bibles. What do we call it, Randy? The Reformation Bibles that I gave for 20,000 pastors. The exposition, yeah, okay. The expositories Bible, right. And so I'd given out 20,000 because we had 20,000 pastors. Now, then just recently, not too long ago, I said to Karen, I've got this fantastic book from Crossway that they sent me, and I just think it's really wonderful. I said, now, how many pastors do we have now? She said, oh, about 30,000, I guess. So the book is called Daily Doctrine, and Daily Doctrine is about one page of all the doctrines in the Scripture, which is so interesting. The book is written by Kevin DeYoung, and it is dedicated to David Wells, because David Wells taught Kevin DeYoung doctrine in seminary. So that's the way that worked out. So I said to Crossway, well, I think we need 30,000 of those. And he said, we don't have 30,000, anywhere near 30,000. So I said, well, he said, but we can do it. I said, you need to make it really, really cheap. You understand? And I mean, I talk to them because they know what we're doing, and they do give me a wonderful, wonderful price. So I said, they said, well, we could do an extra printing in paperback. And I said, no, you can't do paperback in Africa. Paperback in Africa doesn't last very long, so you have to do hardback. Okay, well, let's see. We could do it without the ribbon in it. And so I said, okay, that's all right. We're going to do it without the ribbon, but they're going to get the 30,000. Now, I'm not going to get the 30,000 until April because they have to do a whole printing of it. But that's what we're getting ready to do with Crossway, which is, and that book is really wonderful. It's going to all the pastors. I can't send it to everybody that's a teacher and all that, but anyway, I will tell you that if you are interested in doctrine, it's Daily Doctrine. It's called Kevin DeYoung, and it's just one page on each one for each day. So excellent book. So I wanted to make sure I told that. Now let's see, what else am I supposed to tell? What am I doing these days? Well, mostly you always ask me, okay, now how old are you now, Rosemary? And I'm 95, and my kids say to me, Mom, you're going to live to 100. And I say, well, I certainly hope not. I have I'm ready to go now. I'm eager to see Jesus. I really am. And by the way, and my husband, I'm eager to see him, and my parents, and my family, all these people that I'll be able to see, but especially Jesus, he's gonna, I wonder if I'll recognize him. I don't, you get these paintings of Jesus, but he's a man, and so it'll be wonderful just to get to see him. And so I don't want to live that long. So I'm not asking to go, but I'm ready. Okay. But I'm not asking. And so I guess if the Lord has anything else to do, who knows how many million more Bibles I need to get out before I leave this land. So that's my age. What am I doing? Well, I'm doing some amazing things, I think, that the Lord is still letting me do. I can't walk. I've had 4 strokes, and so I can't walk, but I can. And I can't think too well, and I can't hear too well, and I can't see too well. But other than that, I'm fine. Okay. So I am allowed to do a couple more things. One is I'm on the board of the Rafiki Classical Academy, which, yeah. And that is really good, and I think you're going to get a chance to see some pictures of that later on today, sometime today. I'm not sure what time anything is here, but so that's one thing I get to do. Then, of course, I get to do the Rafiki Bible study, the Rafiki Bible Foundation, which I started in 2017. I started that when my husband died. Bob, my sweet husband, of 60 years, he had Alzheimer's for the last 8 years of his life, and so I had to look after him. But he was sweet. He was good. I mean, it was okay. But he finally died himself of a stroke. And so I lost half of me at that time. I was 60. When you've been married 60 years, that's the way it is. And it took me a long time to get over that. But after a couple of years, I said, how come you have left me on this land, on this earth, Lord? I mean, what am I supposed to do now with only half of me? And it was, now the Lord doesn't speak to me in verbal. I don't hear him verbally, but I felt it was like, well, what do you love to do? And I thought, well, I love Africa and I love the Bible. So it was like, well, maybe you could put those two things together. So that's when I started the Rosemary Jensen Bible Foundation. And it's been going ever since, and we've sent out thanks to Ligonier and thanks to Crossway, we've sent out all these way over 100,000 Bibles so far, and we're going to send out the 10,000 more now for Africa, for Tanzania right away. Bishop Cho tells me that's what he needs, so that's what we're going to get out, Lord willing. And people have given in, and I'm very, very grateful for that, because they don't get anything for it except just the joy of being able to give. So let's see, that's what I do. I spend time doing that. And by the way, I keep talking about my death because I'm not far from it. I know that. Can't be. It can't be. But so people say, well, what are you going to do with the Rosemary Jensen Bible Family? I'm the president of it, and I do run it. I mean, I put the money in the bank and all of that, and order the Bibles and all of that. And so they say, what are you going to do, when you die? So I just want you to know it goes to Karen. She's going to do it. She'll turn it over to somebody else to do. She's very good at delegating. Well, that's what you have to do. But the main thing that I do, I think, for me at least, is I do my best to encourage Karen. I mean, she is, she's followed me. She's worked with me for 50 years. I don't know how many, honestly, but a lot of years. How many years here?
I met you in 1987.
How many?
Yeah, I met you in 1987, so is that 38 years?
30-some years.
Yeah,
Okay.
30 plus years, yeah.
All right, anyway, we've been working together a long time. We still love each other. Actually, I have 3 daughters, and they're all blonde. She says that she's my brunette daughter. So, so I appreciate that, but I do my best to encourage her and, just to talk over things. When you've done something like leading things like this, you can't talk to everybody, but she can talk to me because I understand. And so we talk pretty near every day, and we talk, and she keeps me up on everything on her trips and all of that. And so that is my greatest pleasure, I think, and of what I do. And so that I appreciate it. Karen is very, very sweet to me. She, her own mother lived till 97, I think, and so I know because I was there too when she died. But anyway, so we do. That's my best thing that I do, I think. Okay, that's I do write a blog. I've written a couple of hundred of them. I don't think I'm going to write anymore. I can't think of anything else to write about. And everybody is tired of listening anyway. But I just do that just kind of for fun. And when people ask me, they say, well, why don't you give the history of Rafiki? So I give the history of Rafiki. Well, why don't you give this? And so I give that. So but I'm not sure I can think of much more or should think of much more, actually. So that's what I do. Anybody? What else we have to do now?
Well, I didn't know if anybody wanted to ask Rosemary a question, but I do want to let you to know that if you're interested in her blog, I would encourage you. There's a lot of history there, really great principles, and it's Last Lessons, right? I think that's the type that in. Last Lessons. Jerry Sullivan can tell you where to find that. You can grab her, and if you want to know, it's Last Lessons, Rosemary Jensen's blog. You type that in, and you'll find it. It would be great.
Yeah.
We do have a poem by Chris Moyer. Chris, where are you? Chris has a 40th anniversary poem. By the way, Chris is has been our architect for all of our Rafiki villages, right, Chris? He's been on 49 trips, and he did all of that as a volunteer.
every single building.
Every single building.
He's done.
He's an architect, so I'm going to give you the mic and let you read your. And he always does a poem for birthdays and for other occasions.
My apologies to any literary connoisseurs. 4 decades have passed since the Rafiki phenomenon was conceived. Health and opportunity thousands of Africans have received. To this endeavor, other thousands have lent their hand, but the Jensen family started it all when on a ship they left our land. The Rafiki Foundation became a reality by the inspiration of the founding board, and soon the first medical missionaries were sent out with a nod from the Lord. A query to a bishop in Tanzania was revealing vocational training for young women would cause much healing. So, in many parts of the world, young women's centers would be created, making jewelry, soap, baskets, leather dolls, needlework, and all things related. This was good, and many women found hope and much-needed support. But a new plea for help came from the first ladies, with many orphans to report. What could Rafiki do with so little money for such an undertaking? As Rosemary stepped down from the reins of BSF, they saw something in the making great. They saw something great in the making, sorry. Cottages, dining halls, schools, and ROS residences were poised on the drawing board. And with money from BSF, concrete in the first village in Ghana was about to be poured. Nearly every year from that time on, a dedication plaque was placed on 9 more walls. Rafiki staff, donors, consultants, missionaries, local churches, all responded to God's calls. Over 300 buildings and counting have been nestled into African soil. They protect children, facilitate learning, and give missionaries a place to rest from toil. Getting to 10 African countries takes something of an airline stew. Gambia Bird, Bellevue, Eric, Rwandair, Lufthansa, Delta, and KLM, to name a few.
That's right. That's right.
San Antonio was where it all began, a place where you were bound to develop a drawl. That was about to change as Rafiki is headed to Florida, but they also say y'all. These facilities in the woods of Eustis would unleash an even greater array of fruit. Curricula, printing, shipping, and exchange, even a classical Christian school to boot. So this is to Rosemary, founder and leader for so many of these 40 years, and to Karen and staff, the board, missionaries, donors, and volunteers. To God be the glory, great things he has done. Happy birthday to Rafiki, you've only just begun.
That was great. Thank you, Chris.
Now I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Chris. Chris and his wife Sandy have been with us forever and a day. And I do remember he was working for the University of Illinois. He was the head of the Fine Arts Department there for more than 20 years, I think. Chris, am I right? I don't know. But anyway, so I remember calling up Chris and saying, you know, do you think you could do some little architecture work for us? This was years ago. How many years ago? I can't remember. But when we first started, and so he said, "Oh yeah, I think I can do that." And so, as you heard Karen say, he has done over 300 buildings. The drawings for all the architectural work for every single building that we have in Africa, all of them. And the thing is that I said, okay, Chris, you know, he was retiring from the University of Illinois, and I said, you know, we can't pay my. He's done every one of them free. And he's gone out and helped with the drawing of all of them. He's gone on all the trips to make sure that everything is done well. I mean, can you believe that? He was the head of the department. We couldn't have picked anybody better than that. Yeah. No, what else?
Well, do you want to tell a little bit more about RC and the Bibles, and the Bible Foundation? Because that's really a neat story.
How they started?
How the Reformation Study Bibles started going out.
I didn't
And
know if you had that other poem thing from, do you have another thing come? do you have another thing coming from Rick Phillips?
Oh, yeah, but you have 2 short videos.
Okay. So how did we start the Bible Foundation? When I decided, okay, I need to get these Bibles. Okay, now I'm a member of St. Andrew's Church, where R.C. Sproul was the pastor at that time. And so I went in one day and I said, and I knew R.C. because I'd been on the Alliance of Confessing Evangelicals. I was on the board. They put James Boyce put me on that council, which was amazing that he put me on the council because I was the only woman. I was not a theologian. And I said, what in the world are you doing, Jim? Why would you want me on the council there? And he said, well, we're all of us theologians, we're going to write all about it. But actually, you're doing it. That was when I was the director of BSF. By the way, I was the director of BSF and Rafiki for 15 years. So that was busy time. But in the meantime, so I went down, and so R.C., who was also on that board with Jim, I went down to church, and I said to R.C., I think I need to buy about 1,000 Bibles. And he said, what? And I said, well, I need about 1,000 Bibles. And then he said, okay. And I said, now you need to give them to me. I don't have much money, but you need to give them to me. I like them for nothing. I am very good at bargaining. And by the way, you guys, I learned it in Africa. That's where you learn to bargain. No question about that. Nobody ever buys anything for the first price. Okay. So anyway, then I went back and I said, R.C., I think I really need 2,000. And he said, what in the world are you doing with those? And so I was able to tell him. So he said, okay, well, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. Let me see what I can do for you. So, basically they gave me most of the Bibles. So that's how we started, and I was getting all the Bibles from Ligonier to begin with. Now, let's see. What else you want me to tell them?
yeah, I wanted to ask Humphrey and John just 2 quick questions. So how many languages now is the Reformation Study Bible translated in?
5 languages so far.
5 languages so far. And you guys have sites now in how many languages?
Websites in 17.
Yeah, 17. So a lot of the Ligonier resources, you can find them. They're in Portuguese, they're in Arabic. So those of you who know people around the world, you can send them to the Ligonier website, and they're in 17 languages. I've been in taxis or Ubers with drivers from different parts of the country, and we're talking about the gospel. Very easy to share that. Ligonier is translating a lot of their materials into the most used languages. And so they're a wonderful partner for us. We've gotten the Reformation Study Bibles in English to hand out to seminaries mainly, and Rosemary and Dr. Sproul kind of kicked that off. But they too have been a fantastic partner with us. So I don't have any questions. We do have 2 short videos to show, one from Rick Phillips and one from Richard Walenta. And then we have a little cake I think we want to bring out, kind of 40th anniversary. Is there anything else you want to say, or do you want to entertain questions? What would you like to do?
I just want to tell you how much it has meant to me to have so many different groups of people and different people who have helped in all the things that Rafiki has done. I think about Ligonier and RC and those, and I think about Crossway, of course, but I also think about the people who have come and have given and funds of things. I think about the people in Africa who have helped in every single way. I'm talking about the churches, particularly the churches, and of course starting it all in Tanzania, where Bob and I lived, for those 9 years, but then going back, and how now all these years later, I come back and back to Tanzania, which is really amazing how they have helped. And I think about also Uganda and the First Lady of Uganda who helped us get started on things, Janet Museveni. She's still a friend, amazingly, and I haven't heard from her recently because I haven't been able to go out there and visit her and see her, and she hasn't been back to the United States later. I met her one time, we met in Chicago, and I just had a wonderful time with those people, groups of people who have come together to help make Rafiki. And Karen and all the, meeting with either the president or the vice president of every single one of the countries where we are, in all the 10 countries. Not the vice president, the wife of the president, either the president or the wife of the president, of all of them. I knew them, and how Bob and I got to know a lot of those people when we were in Africa, because we were there during the time of reversion, when all the people became independent, all those countries got their independence. And then, of course, the value of what my husband did, which was enormous, he never thought it was so great, which is now the Kilimanjaro Christian Medical Center, the starting of that. And Frederick is just telling me last night about what they're getting ready to start, build a cancer center. And isn't that wonderful? And what else are you doing there? I know they have a dermatology department, which is world famous. People come there now. And what else were you saying? Besides the cancer center?
Yeah, the cancer center and what we call a cardiac center. Cardiac.
Yeah, okay. Huh?
The heart
Yeah,
center.
cardiac, and which of course is great. And the amazing, I want to tell this one little thing, okay, because I just love it. My husband did that hospital. He got the thing started, and then he died, but the hospital was going. I had an opportunity to go out with my son-in-law and my daughter and my son-in-law. My son-in-law his name is Dwayne Cook, and he is Kathy's husband, and he is a cardiovascular surgeon. Right now, he's the head of the Advent Hospital here, the cardiac department. He's the head of that department there now. But I got a chance to go out with them at one point when he went out and did some heart surgery at KCMC. And what was amazing to me, he said, he calls me Mutz. He said, you wanna watch? And I said, oh yeah. So I gown up and I stand at the head of the patient that he's going to do this heart surgery on, and I could watch everything that he did. And I reached in, he reached in to this heart of this woman, a 20-year-old woman, and he reached in there while he was having this whatever he was using out there, I don't know, but they were playing music. He always plays hymns while he's doing his surgery, which is interesting. And so he's reaching in there, and I'm standing there watching my son-in-law do surgery in the hospital that my husband built, and literally saving the heart of this woman. I've never, ever forgotten that. That is one of the most amazing things that I've ever experienced. And so to be able to do something in Africa for all these generations now, and hopefully I'll be able to send some of my 19 great-grandchildren out to Africa, who knows? I think, some of them are very interested in doing this. So I just thought I'd like to tell that because it's a special thing for me.
Thank you, Rosemary, very, very much. A life of consequence, a real life of consequence. And we're all here because God used you. It's really, really amazing. Really is.
The glories of the Lord.
I know. Mm-hmm. Well, I think we could show the two short videos, Richard Walenta's and Rick Phillips. We have greetings from Richard Walenta, was on the initial board of directors, the founding board. And then Rick Phillips is a good friend of Rafiki's, has spoken at many enrichments, and they have a short greeting.
Oh, no telling what Rick will do.
Well, happy birthday, Rafiki.
One of my great-grandsons-in-law is going to be in his church, I think, because he's going to Furman College, and he's going to, wait a minute, there, okay. Yeah, I want to turn around. Oh, and thank you for turning the lights out, because it's so much easier to see.
Can you see that all right?
Yeah, okay. So that's Richard, okay? That's nice.
Well, happy birthday, Rafiki. What a special time of reflection and celebration of all that has transpired through the work of Rafiki since its birth. Rosemary, your vision and God's numerous willing servants have touched the lives of so many. I just want to thank you with all my heart, Rosemary, for giving me the opportunity and the privilege of being one of those to come along and experience the impact that Rafiki has had and is having on so many young lives. Those have been some of the greatest joys of my life, and I thank you for it. As we celebrate all that God has done through the work of Rafiki, may we too look to the future and what is yet to come. May God continue and bless the work of Rafiki.
Hi, this is Rick Phillips. I wanted to send my congratulations to everybody at Rafiki on the 40th anniversary of this wonderful organization, and particularly give my love to Rosemary, but not only to her, to so many of you who I've had the privilege to know. I do count it one of the chief privileges of my life to have an association with Rafiki, and I praise God for all of your work. I count you as dear friends, and I pray for years and years to come. May the Lord bless you. May He pour out His Holy Spirit upon all of you at Rafiki and carry on this great work in years to come. Thank you for all you've done. You've been an inspiration to me, and congratulations on 40 years. Bless you.
Oh, that's sweet of Rick. that's sweet of Rick. Isn't that nice? Yeah, and Richard, that was nice.
It was. Do we have a little presentation, like something to roll out? Is that right? It's not money.
No, it's a cake. It's a cake.
It's a cake, I think. Yeah,
It's a
it's not
cake,
money, but maybe
yeah.
there's money in the cake.
No,
Yeah.
no. How sweet everybody
It's great.
is.
It's great.
Yeah, so kind to me. Oh my goodness. Now we are all gonna, that's such a big cake, we'll all have a piece of that one. Whoa, that is one big cake.
Oh, look at that. And it's got a wrap from Kilimanjaro. That's fantastic. That's great. Look at that.
Yeah, oh, it's
Mungu
like
Bariki
great.
Africa. Mungu
Oh,
Bariki
great.
Africa. That's
Mungu
fantastic.
Bariki Africa, there you go, God bless them.
Karen Gobert's going to get a picture.
That's really sweet. That's really cute. That's really sweet. Very, not only sweet, it's going to taste sweet. Now let me see. Rafiki's 40 years. For Rafiki is Rafiki's for 40 years. Okay, God's Word at work. They got the whole thing. They got, that's right.